Welcome to the Social Stack, your go-to channel for social media marketing and technology tips for your real estate business. My name is Amy Stack, and today we are going to go over 4 tips to stay consistent on social media. Let me go ahead and get my screen shared for everybody today. And can you guys all see that? Perfect. I see some head nods. Wonderful. Let me open up my chat in case anybody has questions. Gotta move my buttons because now I can't see my screen. All right, perfect. All right, so the first thing I want to say is that consistency is key in social media marketing. So being consistent in your brand is going to allow you to grow your audience engagement and reach. And from the tone of voice used in your messages to aesthetics of your profiles, you're really going to need to be recognizable to gain traction among your intended audience. So to help you go over that, I want to, that should have been my first slide. Sorry, guys. I want to make my first point, which is to keep your big picture in mind. So you can see I have the secret of success is consistency of purpose. So that is a great quote to go from. And it just means that without a defined purpose or a goal, there's really nothing to guide your content towards. So this is really the first thing you need to do is kind of get your big picture in mind, know what you're going for, and then steer everything in the same direction. Kind of like the one thing, if you guys are familiar with that, you don't want to lay your dominoes in a circle because you can only knock down one, right? If you lay them up in a row, you knock down one and then the rest fall. So that's the same thing with being consistent. So I want you guys to, if you're taking notes or typing, get ready because I want you to write down something. I want you to think about who you are or what you want to be known for and write it down. And feel free to put that in the chat or unmute and share with us as well. What do you want to be known for? Or what are you already known for? Anybody care to share?
Listing specialist.
Ooh, listing specialist. That's a good one. All right. So the next thing I want you to do is start writing down some lists of things that you love. They do not have to be work related. So go ahead and start writing some of that stuff down. For example, I work on my house a lot. I'm like slowly flipping it room by room. I have a dog, so I post lots of pictures about my dog. I like to cook. So I share a lot about the different meals that I make on social media. So those are just a couple examples. Does anybody want to share some of the stuff that they love to do?
I love to attend art fairs, especially outdoors in the summer.
Yeah, that is super fun. Oh, and we have in the chat here, music, outdoors, TV, movies, those are all good things. So from that list you guys put together, I want you to pick 3 to 5. Oh, David's chimed in too. Travel, yoga, stand-up, paddleboarding. Oh, I'm doing that this summer for the first time. Hiking, movies and concerts. So those, yes, this is perfect. Just write down all those things. And then I want you to pick 3 to 5 that stand out the most and make sense in your business. And then you're going to steer the vast majority of your content based on those buckets. So for example, if we have somebody who's a coffee lover and a parent and they like home makeovers or interior design stuff, maybe they play tennis and they work with veterans. Like maybe that's their niche in their business is working with veterans. People really want to get to know you as a person, not just your business. So you need to share some interests that are for you personal too, not just business interests. And then other people that are attracted to those same things will be drawn to you. So that's going to help get like-minded people just to naturally come your direction. And then I want you to start thinking about your ideal client and craft your content specifically for them. So there's something out there, there's a term that you guys may or may not have heard. It's called a client avatar. So you really want to picture that client in your brain and write down all the attributes that you really like about them that makes them your ideal client. And then you're going to steer all of your content like you're writing it to that specific person. So Patty brought up sellers. So let's say you're writing a post, doesn't matter what platform it's on, but let's say you're writing a post to attract sellers. Keeping in mind that profile that I shared with you before, I have a little sample written up for you. But you could post a picture of like a beautifully staged home that's going to touch on the interior design, right? Or the home remodeling, and then try a caption kind of like this. Is your family outgrowing your home? Would you love to come home to a space every day where there's plenty of room for your kids to play? Join me for a cup of coffee at, insert your local coffee shop here, where you can tell me all about your needs and I can share what the current market means for your home value. Do you guys see how that's different than do you want to buy or sell? That's talking to one specific person, right? And I know a lot of people are like, but I want to help everybody. Well, there's so much out there, right? There's plenty of business for everyone. So if you really niche down, riches are in the niches, keep that in mind. If you really niche down, thanks for laughing, and figure out what it is that you want to be well known for and target all of your stuff towards that. Like I said, people are going to start to gravitate towards you. They're going to know and learn easily or quickly that you are the go-to on that subject. And so just by doing things that you're already passionate about and sharing about that, it's just going to attract like-minded people, and it will give you the opportunity down the line to say, maybe no, thank you. Maybe we're not a great fit, but yeah, I'd love to get you in touch with this other agent who would be able to service you at a much higher level than I, right? And then you can get a referral out of it. But keeping on brand with your social media will help stop people from coming to you that you're not a good match for, because nobody wants to be in that situation where they have to fire a client, right? So this will help prevent situations like that too, because if you're coming off as authentic and really showing people who you are, the ones that you don't jive with are naturally going to gravitate towards somebody else. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. I know it seems like, oh, we're getting rid of business, but it's not. You're saving yourself some heartache and maybe some headaches too. All right, so the next thing I want to do is, well, before we go on, does anybody want to say maybe what their ideal client is? Does anybody have a thought on that? No?
I have a thought for mine. I like working with older adults.
Yeah.
And so I like to say my ideal client is between 45 and 105.
Perfect. So then you're going to want to steer your content towards platforms where there's people that are in that bracket, or events that you can find people that way, or maybe you want to steer it towards those people's children, right? Because they're the ones that are probably more likely to be on social media. And if they know that you're advocating for their parents' age group, then they can reach out to you for help when the time comes, right?
That's the plan.
Yeah, perfect. All right. So the next thing I want to talk to you guys about is staying visually consistent. So you want to ensure that your images that you share have a steady feel by applying the same filters, using the same colors and fonts consistently so that your images are telling a uniform story. So this kind of goes back to branding. We talked about that a couple weeks ago. So you just want to make sure that you're consistently using the same branding, as in, like I said, colors, fonts, and similar imagery, right? That way it's just easy to identify wherever your stuff's floating around. Oh, that's one of, Patty's images. Oh, Darlene must have posted that. That looks like something else that she shared, right? So some of the filter tools that you can use are built into your platforms, or some are apps like VSCO, VSCO. Here, I'm going to put some in the chat for you. VSCO, A Color Story, and Snapfeed are all different apps you can get. I'm putting those in the chat right now. Or you can actually save your brand colors and fonts into platforms like Command or Canva Pro. I know there's a lot of people that like Canva. So if you guys are interested in that, I'm going to put my link to Canva in there. But you can save your favorite fonts, your favorite colors, inside, like I said, Command or Canva, so that they're easy. They're kind of like just sitting there on the left or on the top, waiting for you to use them. So you don't have to go hunt down those color codes every time or scroll through a super long list of fonts, which will just make your life easier. So pick a couple to go with, and then you're not trying to figure out every time, oh, does this font look good? Does that font look good? Should I change it to this? Just have them set and keep going forward with the same stuff. And then remember, you want to keep your big picture in mind for the visuals as well. So going back to the 5 topics I brought up, so you could add shots of you playing tennis at the local tennis courts, or handing a closing gift of an American flag with your veteran, like hanging it on their new front porch, right? So those go back to your big picture idea of who you want to serve and things that tie into those 3 to 5 categories that I mentioned. So those are some of the things that you would want to put out there if those were your 5 categories. Then the next tip I have for you on staying consistent is one of my favorites, and it's huge. It's time blocking. So this is one of my favorite quotes by Benjamin Franklin, and it's, by failing to be prepared, you prepare to fail. I was just talking to somebody about this, and she's like, oh, that hit me right here. She's like, I'm gonna go time block right now. So that's a really good quote that Benjamin Franklin, he knows what he was talking about, right? But by time blocking or scheduling specific chunks of your time to work on your social presence, it's going to help you optimize your time. It'll help you avoid running out of content ideas or going days without posting or feeling that stomach dropping panic when you need to post right now because you have to play catch up. And usually that happens at like 11 o'clock at night when you're trying to go to bed, or 3 in the morning, and it wakes you up. Darlene says, so true. So for time blocking, you'll need to do 3 things in your social media time block. Can you guess what they are? I'll give you a hint. They're on the screen. You need to plan your content. So I highly suggest creating a social media calendar for yourself to help visualize, visually organize your strategy. And then you can even give a theme to each day if that helps you organize it. And you don't have to like say that there's a theme to the day. Yet when you are posting it, you're like, oh, it's Monday, I don't know what to post. Okay, well, my theme is Motivation Monday, so let's go find a motivational story or a motivational quote, you know, and then that's just kind of giving you an area to stick in to help you curate your content towards. So that's really going to help you stay organized and avoid posting 10 just solds in a row. We don't want that, right? People are like, okay, that's cool. It's showing you that you're doing business, but it's also on the consumer side. It's like, okay, they just made more money. Good for them. How does that affect me, right? Patty, I think you have a question. I see.
Well, I've got a question. It's more of a comment.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can see my face. I think it can enhance your brand reputation in a small way, that if people are, you know, you always do a Motivation Monday, you know, maybe you don't do all 5 days a week, but on Monday, they might come to your Facebook or Instagram to look for that. It's like, oh, what is Patty posting this Monday? So it kind of affects loyalty a little bit.
Yeah. And then something else that leads into that is when you do stuff like that, once you've been doing it for a while and maybe you're thinking of changing up your strategy, if you stop doing it, if people are reaching out to you asking, hey, why aren't you doing this anymore? Well, then you know that's content you need to keep posting, right? So keep that in mind down the line. I do have a couple of videos specifically on why to use a social media calendar and how to build one. So you can check those out as well. And I'll link them to this video. I think it'll pop up on this side. But go ahead and check those out. The other couple of points I wanted to make about time blocking are the fact that creating is one of the things you have to do during that time block. So it's going to help you set aside time to actually make your graphics or apply the filters we talked about so that everything is visually consistent. Because if you're just doing this on the fly, you're going to end up just like taking a picture and throwing it in, and maybe it doesn't really apply to your strategy. You're just putting something out there to get something out there. And then the third thing for time blocking that I highly recommend is actually scheduling ahead of time. That way you don't have to do this every single day. Try starting with an hour a week. Just sit down, you know, every Tuesday at 1 o'clock and work on your social media strategy. So you can actually use third-party features, or depending on the platform, some of them have scheduling services built right in. And that way you can kind of set it up. You don't necessarily really want to set it and forget it, because you want to go back and communicate with the people that are commenting on it, but you can set it and forget it as far as like, you don't have to come back and post it later. You can just set it up and it'll run for the week for you. And that way you can ensure that you have some good looking content that's consistently going out, and you're never going to get that jolt of adrenaline at 3 a.m. when you're like, oh my gosh, it's been days. I need to go do something right now. And then you can't sleep, right? You're just like rolling over. I see Mark's giggling. I think that this has happened to him before.
Yeah.
So a pro tip I have for you is you want to, like I said, you want to make sure you're going back and posting on those comments and answering any questions. So like I said, set and forget as far as getting the content out there. Make sure you're going back and checking on those posts. So like I said before, you can use those third-party schedulers built that you can pay for. Some are free, and then some of the platforms like Facebook or YouTube will have them built right in. And now Facebook, you can actually feed to Instagram. A lot of times you can feed to Twitter. Command will let you post on schedule posts to Facebook as well. So there's lots of different tools out there. Just make sure you find the one that fits your needs. So make a list of what needs you need to be met and then go look for the scheduler. Don't go look at all the services that are available, because if you don't know what you need, then they're all going to sound attractive to you, right? So make that list first.
Does our command interface with Facebook and Instagram, or
So
just
command,
Facebook?
you can run ads on Instagram through command. You can't schedule to Instagram. Instagram's actually one of the hardest platforms to find a third-party scheduler for if you're looking for a free scheduler.
Okay.
There are later.com, LATER, that will let you schedule to Instagram. However, it's only single image posts. So you can't do video, you can't do gallery, stories, anything like that.
Okay.
So that's just a little tip about Instagram. Most of those ones are going to be paid schedulers.
Thank you.
Not all of them, but most of them. I see a question came in. How many posts per day? I've seen on my research that 2 to 4 a day is good, but we don't want to overwhelm our readers, right? Jackie, that's a great question. And that's really going to depend on what platform you're on. So Twitter and Instagram, you can post a lot more frequently. Facebook, maybe once or twice a day, definitely 3 to 5 times a week on Facebook. And then you're going to really want to check your insights, your it's called something different on every platform, insights, analytics, you know, all that kind of stuff. As you start posting, just start tracking that, because those different platforms will show you, hey, your posts at this time were doing really well. This day was doing really well. So you can see what's getting good engagement. So you'll be able to track the time and days and also the type of content. So just kind of follow up on that. And that'll help you kind of curve your future trajectory. Can't talk today. Trajectory with your keep it going along with your strategy there. So my last big tip for you is to keep it simple, right? We want you to be brief, be bright, be fun, and be done. So be brief, share your story, get the heck out. Nobody wants to read a novel on Instagram or listen to you babble forever and ever on YouTube. Like, if you guys are getting into YouTube, don't open your channel and be like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, it's been so long. You know, I was on vacation, I did this, I did that. Just get to the point, right? Get to the information. Be bright. You want to stay upbeat. Nobody likes a Debbie Downer, right? People go on social media to take a break from life, right? So give them something fun to look at. And that goes right into the next one. Be fun. Be yourself. Have fun out there. Not everybody's going to have that same sense of humor as you or views as you, but that's okay. Like I said, there's enough business to go around for everyone. You only invest your time into the people that you think are your ideal clients, that you are vibing with, right? That's who you want to attract. So it's okay that not everybody's going to agree with you. And then last but not least, be done, right? Don't dwell on the tiny details. Start messy. Just get out there and start doing it. You're going to get a little bit better every day. Make your plan. Do your post, figure out, you know, what's one thing I can do to make it a little better next time, and do that the next time, right? So like I said, start messy. You'll get better as time goes on. Make sure you're focusing the majority of your time on income generating activities, not should you bump up the transparency a few more notches? Should I change this color? Which is why we set our colors and fonts ahead of time. So you don't have to worry about that stuff. It's also a time saving trick. But those are the big 4 tips for you. So I'm happy to open it up to questions. I see one came in the chat here, Motivational Monday, ideas for other days of the week. I would love to hear from you guys. What do you think could be some themes for other days?
You see Throwback Thursday a lot.
Yeah, you do. Fun Friday, Fun Fact Friday.
Yeah.
Fun Fact Friday.
What about something local? Promote a local business. Right? Do an interview, go buy something from a local bakery and talk about how amazing it was, right?
Mhm.
That's really going to show you ingrained in the market. You can use your niche as a piece of your theme, right? So I know Darlene is also works with a lot of seniors. So you guys could do something every week that is steered towards that community that's coming from value, right? And if you guys want to follow my, so I have a YouTube channel I mentioned, but I also have a Facebook page for it. It's just the Social Stack on Facebook page. And I'm currently every Friday for like 30 Fridays, I have stuff ready to go. I'm doing content suggestions. So that could spur some
Thank you.
inspiration for you too.
You're doing, say it again.
Content suggestions, different types of things that you can post. It's on my Instagram page too. It's everywhere.
I do want to say kudos for Command that I did use. I'm going to get on the calendar first of all and be more consistent.
All right.
That is a must. I do understand that for sure. But I got so many views on 2 posts that I did that were video. I went through Command and did a Facebook upload with video, and
Perfect.
wow, I mean, it just really took off. So I think videos seem to be a little more attractive. Not that we don't want to do content too, but it did seem like the video was getting a lot more
You are
interest.
100% right. In the world of content, video is king.
Yeah.
There's lots of different ways you can leverage video. I've actually got a recording, of course, of talking about video specifically. So I'll pin that to this video too. And then next week or next month, excuse me, I'll do my social media session on engagement and how to like kind of beat the algorithms and help to get people engaged. So that'll be next month. So keep an eye out for that.
Awesome.
You guys tell me, and for those of you on YouTube, go ahead and write it in the comments, but for those of you in class today, what tip have you found the most helpful today?
Using the filters for the pictures to keep it like in a theme.
Yeah.
Good tip. And I want to ask you something, Amy, if it's possible.
Of course.
What's the best way to probably advertise our app, KW app?
Oh, I just did a video on this too. Look at me go.
That's great. I want to see it for sure.
The very easiest way to share the app is actually through the app itself. So sign up for the app like you're a user, and then you can share it out to people once you connect yourself as an agent to it. But I did a whole class that I'll be happy to share with you guys that talks about how to share it on social media, make a smart plan with it, make a landing page, put it on your website. I think I'm forgetting something. Oh, you can like make a flyer with a QR code, all kinds of stuff. So I can share that. I'll link that to this video as well. But if you want to shoot me an email, I'll send you the link so I don't forget.
I will.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So who's going to do something that they learned today?
Schedule ahead of time.
All right. I want you to guys to start tagging me in some of your posts so I can see what you're doing. Patty
It's
did
going
it
to be
last
my
time.
Sunday madness to get it all together for the week.
Perfect. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I've
I'm going
tagged
to
you
pick
a
3 days a
couple
week
times.
though. I think I'm going to keep it simple though and do 3 days a week just to start.
That's perfect.
You know,
guys
just to
can
be
do that.
consistent. Yeah.
Yep, that's a great goal. Do your 3 days a
Yeah.
week to start if you don't think you're ready to do more than that. And then
Right.
things will pop up that you wouldn't necessarily schedule, but you think are great for adding to your social world. So you can go, that gives you room to add extra things, right?
Awesome. Yeah.
Not everything has to be 100% scheduled. Things will pop up that you're like, oh, this is really cool. And it ties right into everything I'm doing. So I'm going to go ahead and post this. And you can really utilize stories, or if you're on TikTok, that's all like live, right? Snapchat, that type of stuff. So there's plenty of ways to get like in the moment action shots incorporated into your strategy as well.
Yeah. Awesome.
I do want to let everybody know, I think most of us here are in the E2P group. Is that right? I know there's a couple people that aren't. But for those of us that are in E2P, wait for this 1 second, sharing my screen. There we go. We just launched Peak Digital Design. So there is a social media component of this. So if you guys are really like, I love the idea of doing social media, I hate the idea of running it, I came to this class and it doesn't make me want to do it anymore, come check this out, because you can see that the starter packages are $159 a month. And they even come with a dedicated social media manager. They'll do some custom content for you. You'll do a brand consultation initially to get your brand all set up. And then they'll do, I can't remember how many posts off. Oh, here you go. Up to 6 posts per week. up to 3 platforms for $159 a month. This is like super affordable. You're not going to find this really anywhere else. So that's peakdigitaldesign.com.
Wow.
I'm going to put that in the chat as well. Have to find it again.
I just
And
saw that yesterday. I thought it was interesting.
yeah, and it's not just social. We've got listing packages. And these are like full service. They're going to order your photography, do your sign install, stuff like that. And you can do a la carte services as well with brochures if you just want, you know, one piece at a time.
Oh,
So,
thank you
Do
for
you know,
pointing it out.
just for curiosity's sake, how many people are employed there yet? Or I know who started it, but
yeah, so Ron is the owner and he's got a team of VAs. So as we need more people, we'll just bring on more VAs, and he's the one training, kind of running it, adding out the extra features. Of course, he picked my brain a bit to help get it up since I was in the marketing role for a while. I was like, we need social media. So now we have it.
I don't remember him. So that was interesting to read about him as well.
Yeah, yeah. All right. Well, is there any other questions I can help answer today? What do you think? Half hour was good for this one, right? That was a lot of content in 30 minutes.
Mhm.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for coming. Next week, same time, I am doing, listen to this, a hybrid, yes, in person and Zoom mastermind. We're going to talk about monthly newsletters. So keep an eye out for my weekly email. If you want to join in the Glen Ellen office in person, I have a sign up genius. You can sign up for that. Otherwise, you just hop on Zoom and we'll Zoom you into the room too. That's me on monthly newsletters.
Thank you.
You guys enjoy the rest of your week. Happy Juneteenth. Make sure to watch the Julia Lachey and James Shaw call so you can learn a little bit more about Juneteenth and how we can be better about ending, you know, all the systemic racism and problems in our society, especially with real estate. So
Thank you.
Thank
All
you,
right.
Amy.
Take care.
Thank you.
Bye.